Welcome everyone to the Tweak and Kai Show. I'm Tweak. There's no Kai as of yet, but I'm still gonna pour it. No puffs, but plenty of predictions. I think poor Kai may have gooped a little bit too much last night there with Arc Raiders, but that's all right. I'm up and at him, so we'll get a little bit of stuff going on here. Wow, I guess I forgot to pull out the pour a beer, but nonetheless, didn't forget how to predict it. So. Um, I thought I had it pulled up. Nonetheless, we'll just dive right into it. We're going to tweak Sunday slate. It's going to be obviously a weird week. A lot of people resting stars. There's a lot of people going for incentives. A lot of people still have playoff implications. A lot of people maybe still working on their draft positioning as well. So it's probably going to be, even though there might be not a lot going on for some teams, it's still probably going to be a wild week of football. Um, First and foremost, though, how about those Hawks getting the number one seed? From a biased opinion, just absolutely beautiful. That defense really showed up. Offense is still a little shaky, but they did enough. Can't argue that. Hopefully Myers figures out how to get that boot going here soon. He did a great job the past few weeks. I don't know what happened this one, but I guess if you're going to have a bad week, make it a bad week where you get an ugly W. So can't argue that. Another decent game with the Panthers and the Bucks. Bucks getting that W. There could be another 8-9 sub 500 team in the playoffs. Absolutely love it. I mean, you got to win your division, right? Can't argue that. So, nonetheless, let's go into Tweaks Sunday slate. Hopefully, I sound all right. Hopefully, I look all right. By the way, kind of experimenting through the earbuds right now. I got a new phone, by the way. Finally upgraded. Put my ancient dinosaur the rest. I mean, it was iPhone 12, so it's not bad, but it was time for a new phone, time for an upgrade. So without further ado, let's go to Tweaks a Sunday slate. First, we got the Colts at the Texans. Definitely getting the Texans on that one. I think they're still fighting for some seeds, so they'll be playing a little bit, playing pretty tough. Colts. Gonna see what Riley Leonard's about. So no more old man Phillip Rivers. As fun as that was, honestly, that was a pretty good few weeks for that guy. Well, yeah, it's time for Colts to see what they got going on and all that stuff. Especially since they made that big trade for Sauce Gardner, hoping, do they get playoff push, and now they're kind of on the cusp fringe. Actually, I think they might be eliminated too, if I remember correctly. So, nonetheless, give me the Texans on that one. We got Cowboys at the Giants. I guess I'm going to go with the Cowboys on that one. I don't think they have Javonte Williams in, and I think they lost their other running back too. So I think they're on like a third or fourth string running back. I think they still got CD Lamb and Pickens going for a couple of incentives here and there. So I guess give me the Cowboys on that one. We got Browns at Bengals. Give me the Bengals on that one. I thought they were dead in the water after that Ravens game, but apparently now they've started figuring it out. And the Browns defense is definitely going to be hungry, especially Myles Garrett. He wants that record. But I still think the Bengals figure out a way to get a W on that one. We got Saints, the Falcons. I think I'm going Falcons on this one. Falcons have looked pretty decent as of recent too. I think Kirk Cousins kind of get back into his flow of things. Plus, they're home. They usually play a little better at home. And I know Saints are going to be a tough out, but I still think Falcons figure out a way to get this one. Packers at the Vikings. We're going to go with the Vikings. The Packers are playing third string quarterback right now, letting all their stars rest. They definitely had that 7 seed lockdown, so no need to add risk to injury on that. And I think the Vikings tried to figure out what they got going on in the future, so Vikings should get the W there on that one. Next, we have the Titans at the Jags. And I didn't do anything. Whoopsies. It's all good. But getting me Jaguars winning on that one. I know Titans have looked okay in division rivalry game. I think Jags are going to be playing for some seeding criteria too, so they'll be playing tough. Plus they're home, so give me the Jags winning on that one. Cardinals at Rams. Rams are pissed off from Thursday's shenanigans against the Hawks, and obviously losing to Atlanta on the road on Monday, that didn't help out either. So we're gonna go with the Rams on that one. Next, we got Chargers at Broncos. I think Broncos going to win this one home. and all that stuff. I'm not too sure who the Chargers. I'm not sure if they're resting Justin Herbert or not. I know they're a little banged up. And I think Denver still gets his W on that one. Chiefs at Raiders. I mean, with what everything's going on, I guess we're going to go with the Chiefs. The Raiders are going to start Pickett there, and then the Chiefs. Poor Chiefs, man. Their QB's got banged up past couple of weeks, and they're out of the playoff contention. Clearly, they were like a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not too sure how this one's going to pan out. But I still think Chiefs end up getting a W on this one. Um, Dolphins and Patriots. Definitely give me the Patriots on this one. I think they're vying for a number one seed as well. And so they'll be playing tough. Dolphins are going to see what they got with Quentin Ewers, I guess. So, which he hasn't been doing too shabby the past couple of weeks. So props to him. But nonetheless, I still think the Patriots end up winning this one. Commanders at the Eagles. I guess we're gonna go with the Eagles on this one. I know they're resting a lot of starters, getting prepped up for the playoffs. I think the Commanders are on their third string QB though as well. So, um, nonetheless, we are going to go with the Eagles on that one. So, Lions at the Bears. Yeah, Lions at the Bears. Yeah, I'm reading it right. I promise I know how to read. We definitely are going to go with the Bears on this one. Lions kind of, you know, fell off a cliff there a little bit. I mean, sure they're 8-8, but it's been an ugly 8-8 for them. And Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, both departing from that team hurt in the long run for sure. So, and ironically, Ben Johnson helped out a lot with the Bears and Caleb's development. So, plus they're home. I'm not too sure how the weather is on that one, but usually Lions don't do too well on the road. Division rival could still be a toughish game, but I think the Bears get a W on that one. Next, we got the Jets at the Bills. I really don't know what's going on with this one in the sense, and I know that's a common theme. I'm not too sure, but they're trying to figure out if they're going to rest Josh Allen or not because he's been nursing a foot injury there. But again, they're probably playing for a little bit of a better seed too. So I don't know. And the Jets are the Jets, so you can't argue that. So I still think the Bills end up getting a W on this one. And then next we got the Ravens at the Steelers. I'm not too sure, but I ended up picking the Ravens on that one. So honestly, it'd be coin flip because Steelers are home. Ravens with Lamar Jackson usually don't do too well against Steelers. And usually Tomlin as a dog does pretty well in those games. Even if he doesn't win all of them, he plays them tough. So, but I guess we're going to go with the Ravens. So nonetheless, we got to recap here. We're going to have the Texans, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Vikings, the Jags, the Rams, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Eagles, the Bears, the Bills, and the Ravens. And hopefully with that last Sunday slate, that puts me in the lead and ends up winning my pool league at home. Now, again, the nice thing this year is that we were able to do it through an app. And so that invited a lot more people in. So there's like 12, 13, I think even 14 people in. Buy-ins $25. You do the math on that. That's a good chunk of change. And I kind of peaked last night after the 2 games on Saturday, and I'm ahead now officially by 3 games. So as long as I don't dud out on all those, and barring that what game is it? I think it's the Commanders and Eagles game is at or around 48 points. That will get me the tiebreaker. So I'll tell you what, it was one heck of a comeback. I think at one point I was down by like 6, 7, 8 games, like halfway through the season. And this last couple of weeks I've roared back pretty well. So you cannot argue that. And now, without further ado, speaking of all that, we're going to go to Tweaks 20 here. And I wish I had that memorized and pulled up, but I do not. But nonetheless, we still have it here. We'll see if it hits. Honestly, it's such a crapshoot when it comes to like all the lines and overs and unders because who knows what's going to happen, honestly. I mean, obviously, it should be me since I'm clearly an expert. But without further ado, on one of these dang tickets here, there we go. We got the right one. So here we go. Tweak Sunday slate. First one we got, I got the Chargers covering plus 14.5 against the Broncos. I still think the Broncos are going to win, but 14.5 is a lot. It's definitely a lot. And especially Denver usually starts off pretty slow. And, I think that might be enough time for the Chargers. Oh, that's right. Trey Lance is starting. I just clicked for me. So I think that slow start might be enough for the Chargers to at least cover 14.5. Now, 14, that's 2 touchdowns, right? So, or, and like I said, anything can happen on that. So I think that's too big of a spread. I'm going to go with Chargers plus 14.5. Next one, I got the Packers at the Vikings. I got Packers at plus 13.5. I know JJ McCarthy started to figure it out there a little bit, and I know they're playing a third string QB with the Packers there, but I know again 13.5 is a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised. The Vikings end up beating them more by like 11 points, 10 points ish, rather than a whole 13. Like 2 touchdowns. Um, quite frankly, I was going to say what the under even is on that one, or over under. Yeah, over under is like 37.5. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if under hits on this one. But nonetheless, I got Packers plus 13.5. Next one I got the Browns at the Bengals. I got that over at 46.5. I got Joe Burrow slinging it. I think, don't be surprised if somehow Burrow ends up getting like 40, 45 points themselves, and then maybe a courtesy touchdown by the Browns here and there. But 46.5, let's go over. Let's have some fun, right? I mean, this is a different Browns team from when they first played each other, right? So probably a little bit more of an offensive show there, at least enough to get for over 46.5. Next one, we got Bills and the Jets, and tell you what, this under at 38.5, I picked 38 of the under for that one. Even the last time, I think the under hit for these teams too, and I think the Bills smoked them like 30-3 or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of a similar game, quite frankly. So next we got Lions at the Bears. I got Chicago covering that minus 4.5. Would it be in the touchdown game? I wouldn't be surprised. Lions still play tough, but however, I think the Bears are going to still cover that 4.5 point spread. So once again, we got the Chargers plus 14.5, Packers plus 13.5, the Bengals Browns going over 46.5, the Bills Jets going under 38.5, and the Bears covering minus 4.5. Two dogs and over under, and then a quote unquote safe pick on that one. So yeah, I don't know. I feel different on that one clearly. Again, who knows what's going to happen? Just because there's not much going on for some teams doesn't mean there isn't chaos happening, right? But 3P thrives in the chaos, so I cannot wait on that one. Nonetheless, here I do have a nice little prop bet going, little touchdown prop bet that I made here for a little bit, and now that my beer has settled down, now I can clam it up. Oh yeah. Morning red beers for that one. You can't argue that. I may or may not have gooped a little bit myself with Mr. Goopy as well. So cheers on that one. Most excellent. I haven't had a red beer in forever. Boom-ba-doom. Those bets are brought to you by Kiro.com. Use code KingKai. Get 20% off. I think 20%, right? I can't remember. 10, 20%. Whatever. So, wow, look at me. I look so beautiful. I sound excellent as well. Love it. So, anyways, if anyone's been commenting, hi and hello, doing the solo, kind of, still learning the ropes, the kinks, and the works on all that stuff. So, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, everything 3P, at Power Puff Predict, and all that stuff. So, YouTube, I think we're on Spotify. Is it Spotify? I can't remember now. We're trying to expand on all platforms as much as we can. So, We can't argue there on that one. Next, we're going to go with this little prop bet here. So I was kind of feeling a little festive, we'll say, for the new year. Definitely ended up having a good night reeling in the new year. We'll say that. So going to go with a few touchdowns here. Pretty much one touchdown from each of these players. I'm going to go with Drake London for the Falcons. We're going to go with Jacoby Myers from the Jaguars, Justin Jefferson from the Vikings on that one. So, and then also a little cherry on top. I think we're going to go with Myles Garrett over 1.5 sacks. I think he ends up getting the record, and I end up thinking that he'll have a multi-sack game because that even though obviously the Bengals have been playing a lot better with their offense, their line is still kind of shaky there at best. So once again, we got Myles Garrett over 1.5 sacks. We have Justin Jefferson scoring a touchdown, Jacoby Myers scoring a touchdown, and Drake London scoring a touchdown. And with that said, I think we have officially kicked off. For those who are still in a fantasy football league, best of luck to y'all. I managed to win a chipper in one of my leagues. It's just too bad it was for funsies. The one that mattered the most ended up taking fourth, and then I'm playing for third and fourth in another league. But hey, if you could win a league, that's always a good year for that. Especially going in there, I was 8-6. I took down, I think the head guy who ended up going like 13-1. So can't argue that. I even was able to sit Bijan Robinson and the Rams defense for the for all that, and I sat them because I was already going to win. I ain't letting fantasy football dictate how I win this chipper because fantasy footballisms, anything can happen, right? So sometimes you just can't outthink it, and you just got to go with the path straight forward. So nonetheless, I think that's about it for me. Kai, what do you think I have to say? Oh, that's right. He's not here. It's all good. Lonely. I am so lonely. Okay. Anyways, at this point, I'll just be babbling. But for those that were able to tune in, thank you for tuning in. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, everything at Four Puff Predict. Once again, I'm Tweak. We still have no Kai. I'm still going to pour it. I'm sure he'll be puffing it. And nonetheless, we'll be predicting it. Everyone, have a good rest of your day.